Welcome to another edition of What the Fatah. I'm sure you're aware of the sudden urge amongst Muslims to get offended and to behead people because they are deeply offended. I'm talking about the non-stop hatred that is being generated against France throughout the Islamic world for a magazine called Charlie Hebdo that printed a number of cartoons about Prophet Muhammad. And there was an attack on that magazine. Many people were killed. On the day that the killers were to be tried, a Pakistani ended up knifing a number of people. He's arrested. He arrived as a refugee in France, but his parents, his mother and father, are very proud of him that he was an attempted murderer and that he wanted to kill people to honor his prophet. I wonder what Prophet Muhammad would think about it, but any common person with a common sense and a rational mind whose civilization has touched by chance, by accident, would realize and question what is wrong with these Muslims. That's a question that non-Muslims often ask, but in political correctness they do not express it on record. But I have talked to neighbors, friends, and they feel quite bizarre because they're quite willing to say, well, Islamophobia is a bad thing, although the word is absolutely nonsense. If it was Muslim phobia, one would understand. People can't be afraid of ideas, but yet they seem to be justified. Because everyone doing the killing, whether in Austria, whether in France, whether the attacks in Holland, whether it was in Spain, whether it was the London 7/7 bombing, whether it was Bali, whichever attack you see, it is done in the name of Islam. Nobody says, oh, I do this in the name of the Turkish Caliphate, which was overthrown by Europeans. No. Oh, I stand for this to bring back the Sultanate of Oman back to its glory days. I've never heard anybody say, I'm doing this for Hijaz because it has been occupied by Najd. But did you know that? Most people don't know that, but Hijaz was an independent country till it was invaded by the Sultanate of Najd in the 1920s, I think, yes, and it became Saudi Arabia. There was no country, Saudi Arabia, till about nearly the First World War. Let me not digress. So all the hatred and vengeance that we feel as Muslims stems not from what somebody has done to us, but how thin-skinned we are. Islam prohibits Muslims from drawing sketches of the Prophet. Maybe it does or maybe it doesn't, because I've seen pictures of the Prophet Muhammad in museums. I know people who have keychains on which there are images of Ali and various great men of Islam, and it is right there. So who came up with this idea that the people who exhibit these photographs, if they are Muslim, they are fine, but if they are non-Muslim, we'll kill them? I haven't seen a great army of Muslim Sunnis ready to invade Iran, where it is quite common to have the image of the Prophet. Or are we suggesting that Iranians, because their Shias are not Muslim? No wonder in Pakistan we keep going around killing Shia Muslims and declaring that they're not Muslims. It is hilarious. And yet we get offended that Europeans or people in the West express shock at what would make someone behead a school teacher. Now look at the ethics of the school teacher who was killed. He went to class, he told the classroom, if there are any Muslims here, please leave the class because what I'm going to share with the class is going to be hurtful. Muslims left except a 13-year-old potential jihadi, a woman who sat there and noted everything, acted as if she was non-Muslim, then went out and told everyone, this guy showed the cartoons of by the magazine, Charlie Hebdo. Now, forever, the cartoons of Charlie Hebdo will remain as a subject to be studied at master's level or wherever you want to do it, or at school level. Forever, because of these lunatics, those cartoons are now going to be alive forever. Nobody can erase them. Never. Because whenever the subject of freedom of expression vis-a-vis Muslims comes up, the subject of Charlie Hebdo comes up. It is Muslims who have given Charlie Hebdo a lifetime guarantee of continuous publication. Is it not? Had they not reacted, this would be a dead issue. But of course, we are plenty smart people. We went to the moon. We invented the jetliners. We invented influenza cure. We know everything about everything because everything is in one book. And that is why we burn libraries. And then name the place where we burned the library, honoring the name of the guy who burned the library. I'm talking of Bakhtiarpur in India. So there is something terribly wrong in how we process information, understand it, or live with it in the post-industrial era. It seems very few of us have ever left the village. And even if we left the village, it was not the village where there was a canal system, because we were used to being farmers or crop diggers or whatever it was, based on how much rain fell. The whole idea of canals did not exist. This again came from the West. The Punjab and Sindh were barren territories. So the point being that by chopping off heads is one crime, but then to collect in Bhopal 100,000 Muslims chanting death to France, led by a political leader of the Indian Congress Party. How can this happen that you cannot understand that the prohibition to draw the picture of Muhammad is on Muslims? So don't draw the picture of Muhammad. You can't enforce your law on someone else. If you don't like France, get out of there. Some Muslims like it, and it was Muslim members of President Sarkozy's cabinet who banned the burqa, the hijab in France. It wasn't non-Muslims. These were Muslim ministers in President Sarkozy's cabinet. They want to live there. They want to live in the shadow of the French Revolution. But if you want to live in the shadow of the Mughal emperor and the Turkish Caliphate, where non-Muslims were decapitated, 1 million Armenians were slaughtered, Hindus were plundered, but by millions, the temples destroyed, and you still want to stand up as the victim? The world is not going to pay attention to you. All you will do, all you can do possibly, is to threaten. You sometimes threaten me as well, and send me pictures of knives that could cut my throat. You send it to many people. Doesn't matter. The truth, my friend, will always rise, as it is evidently noted as India's slogan. The truth will always rise. If you live by that motto, you'll be truthful people. But I'm afraid when you create Pakistan, cut India's limbs into two, have civil wars in Yemen, and kill 5 million Muslims in Syria by no other person than by fellow Muslims, or you crush the rights of the Kurds and the Baloch, and you kill 10 million Bangladeshis because they are darker Muslims than the Punjabi Muslims, then the only expression I can come up to suggest to you is a Punjabi term called fitte muh, because that's what you deserve. You kill in the name of virtue? And think of yourself as pious? No, sir. You are the devil incarnated in how much misery you have spread right across Africa, Asia, and now in the Western world. Maybe in a few hundred years you might learn a lesson or two, but by that time Pakistan would have its bombs rusting and some nasty person will explode a nuke and we'll live happily ever after. Take care. Khuda Hafiz. Jai Shri Ram.